Hello everybody, Disciple here with Hearthstone Curios. Now, Raza the Chained hasn't seen a ton of play in top tier decks so far, but it's definitely a really cool card for Reno Priest and one that explores some pretty cool design space as well. Making your hero power free is already pretty cool, but when combined with things like Shadow Form, Inspire cards, or even potentially RNG generated Kuldjara Drakes, Raza truly shines. But Raza wasn't always the same card that we know and love. In an interview with IGN, one of the devs revealed a lot of different design changes they made with Raza, so we thought we'd take a look at some of those today. Let's jump right in and see what Raza could have been. The original design for the Priest Legendary was actually a completely different card from Raza entirely. The original Priest Legendary was Sin Soar, a 7-mana 4/4 with the text Battle Cry, swap a random enemy minion with a random friendly one. Now this is definitely a really sweet card and a bit of a meme on the 4-mana 7/7 from Shaman, but there are definitely a few problems with it. First of all, it doesn't really match the idea of every class having a Sin Soar ended up being a card. There would be tons of games decided on that RNG, and nobody wants that. Now the devs actually had an entirely different reason for getting rid of Sin Soar. According to Mike Donay, Blizzard doesn't really like it when you steal things from your opponent permanently. They want Priest to have things that let you steal cards for a little bit or with drawbacks so that you have to work for the payoff and really set up the board for the effect. For that reason, the devs ended up scrapping Sin Soar, designing Potion of Madness for Priest, and going back to the drawing board with Raza. So how did Raza come about? Well, according to Mike Donay, he had an idea for Raza's effect, making your hero power cost 0. And when his colleague told him it would be too broken, he became even more determined to make the card. Now Mike really liked the effect because of the way it interacted with other hero power cards and encouraged experimentation with things like Shadow Form. But obviously making your hero power free was really strong, so the devs needed some kind of drawback for Raza. Requiring no duplicates in the deck is definitely a really strong drawback, and since the other Cabal legendaries ended up being these Highlander type effects as well, it worked out great. It's also worth noting that according to the devs, Raza was partially designed to make people want to experiment and possibly to interact with future hero power based cards, not just to be a current meta staple. So it'll definitely be cool to see if Raza can put in any work in the future. And although we are seeing a lot of the Inspire cards rotate out with the Grand Tournament, it'll definitely be cool to see what we get in the future. As far as Raza's stat balancing, all 3 Cabal class legendaries were pretty much balanced together. Since Reno Lock is the most OP Reno deck, Cruel the Unshackled was definitely made the weakest card of all. Reno Mage was pretty medium at the time, and so Inkmaster Solia was made as just a solid card with not too good stats but a very powerful effect. Now Reno Priest was the weakest of the 3 by far, and so Raza was in theory the most pushed of the 3 cards and was given the best stats and mana costs of the 3. It's kind of a shame that this didn't lead to Raza seeing a ton of play, but the main issue is that the Priest hero power really isn't that strong, and being able to heal yourself for 0 mana isn't that powerful. Now if you do upgrade it or get some other buff with it, it can be very good, but at that point you might have already lost the game or could be facing another deck with a much stronger win condition. It's kind of a shame this didn't lead to Raza seeing a ton of play, but Reno Priest and hero power shenanigans just aren't quite there yet. Although it would be cool if we did get something that works with him in the next few sets. So those are some of the changes that happened to Raza and some of the things that Raza potentially could have been. We did see a very cool OTK deck come out with Raza that did see some play called the Chansey Priest coined by Kripparrian, but overall it didn't really make too big of a splash in the meta. I'm curious what you guys would have liked to see from Raza, and if you think this effect was good, and maybe if you used it yourself, or if you think that he should have been another card entirely. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. If you guys enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you dropped a like. And anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.